Well, hey, and welcome to another Travel with Rick video. Got my friend Jenny here. Hey, Jenny, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing, Rick?
I'm doing great.
What are we going to talk about this week?
Well, I was thinking about cool things to do on cruising like Palo Brunch, and I thought about our Ama River cruise. That was the last trip, I guess the last big trip. We did take a Disney cruise after that in February, but that was November of 19, just before the world changed and everything. And so that was our last trip to Europe, last trip to France, and we did an Ama River cruise. And I was thinking about the chef's table dinner on our last night. It was so much fun, Jenny. It was such an amazing meal. It was awesome.
I've heard you mention it lots of different times, so I can tell it's something that really stuck with you, and I'm very curious to learn about it.
Yeah. Well, what was special about it is kind of one of those almost unexpected things that you get to do. It's like, oh wow. And why I say that is usually, we've done chef table dinners with Royal Caribbean and other cruise lines and stuff, and they're awesome. But usually it's something that you have to plan and you have to sign up for, and you kind of have to, want to go. Not that we didn't want to go to this one. I mean, we certainly were looking forward to it. But this one, it's just kind of planned for you. They include it in your dining rotation. So during your cruise week, we were on this cruise, I think, for 7 nights. And during the week, everyone goes to chef's table, which I think is a really nice
Oh,
inclusion. It's
is it
and
part
so
of your cruise fare? Is it
it's
included?
it is included. It totally is.
Oh,
And
okay.
and so that way, everyone rotates through it. So you go to main dining, and then one night of your cruise, you'll have a chef's table
Oh, how
invitation.
fun. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
special.
It does make it special, and
Yeah,
ours happened to be on the last night of our cruise, which seemed for us to make it a little more special. It was a great
sure.
last, thing to remember, kind of like a great kiss goodnight of our cruise. It was awesome.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, tell me, walk me through the experience because I've only done a few chef tables over the years, and I know they're
Yeah.
typically like a very long,
Oh,
many
yeah.
parts. And yes, ooh, I'm
It,
excited to hear.
it's such work, just come prepared. It's going to be a culinary journey, all of those things that you hear. But, if you go, I think after a week in Bordeaux, I don't want to say that we had let our expectations fall, but it was the last night of our cruise, and we just went for a relaxing night out at the chef's table, and that's how we looked at it. To have an amazing meal, our chef Sebastian just he did everything so wonderful. It was just a great time for us as a group. So I guess you can look at it lots of different ways. However, whatever your group or whatever you want out of it. It can be a romantic night, it can be, a special culinary night, or it can just be a great night out with friends. That's kind of how we looked at it. This is how our menus were presented to us on the day in our stateroom that we were going to be going to chef's table. So we had a little rolled up menu and a wine list to look forward to. And, of course, I couldn't wait. I just had to unroll that puppy and figure out what we were going to be having. And, they just had an amazing menu laid out for us. Not that everything for the cruise hadn't been wonderful in the main dining room. It's just, I will definitely applaud Alma River Cruises. The food was fantastic. Sure was. So here's the kitchen. This is what I like about it, Jenny. There is kind of on the aft of the ship. Sebastian had a small kitchen workspace right there, open kitchen style. So the windows there, you can see just past the windows. He's looking onto the dining room, and I'll show you another view in just a second. But here he is in his kitchen, kind of getting everything plated up and ready to go for the first appetizer. Here's our cheese board that we'll talk about more at the end. So in France, I think everything should begin and end with cheese, right, Jenny? I just
Yeah, I would
think,
think so.
yeah, I think it's the way, and they're going to plate this up nicely. You'll see this again later, trust me. And here's our staff: Sebastian, of course, the chef on the left, and then our two waiters for the night. What's nice is they'll come out and kind of tell you about what's going to happen. Sebastian will present the menu, talk to you about it, and then they'll talk about the wines, and he may share a little bit about his ideas of pairing and just kind of prepare you for a great evening. You can tell, in this little small intimate space with his small intimate kitchen there that, they are ready for a good evening. something good to look forward to is coming.
I can tell.
So here was our first course. Now, Jenny, my French is just not good. So I'm just going to tell you, this was called the Chef's Welcome, and this is a fig spring roll. It is foie gras jambon de Bayonne. How about that?
Beautiful.
That's about as good as I can get right there. But it was definitely not as good as this was. It was really, really a tasty treat to get started with. And of course, we had some nice Sauvignon Blanc to go with that, which was just a great pairing. And of course, you could ask them, whether you'd rather have the white or the red. And then, I say, Sebastian, which one should I have? He'll tell you.
So they did a wine pairing with pretty much all of the
Yeah,
courses.
Yeah, they had a white and a red, and basically you could, you could just have the one that you prefer. And I don't know how you are about wine, Jenny. I know we've shared a couple of glasses of wine over time, and I'll just say it right up front out there. I'm not the white with fish, red with steak kind of guy. I'm more of the, if there's a wine that you're drinking that you really like and you think it goes with something that you're eating, then and that works for you, you go with that. So, and I think that's kind of, even the French are kind of lightening up a little bit about that. You can see here on our table that there's a lot of red wine and a lot of white wine, and we're just at the very beginning of our meal. So I think that's kind of a good way to look at it, don't you? What you enjoy is what you should pair, right?
And I've always been like that too. I very rarely do. I used to do the wine pairings when I was younger because it made me feel fancy.
Yeah.
But then I realized I don't like everything. I know what I like, and so.
And I think that's what you should do. And I understand. I mean, and we have friends that are wine purists, and they will tell you why you shouldn't do this or you should do this. And I will agree to a point that if I'm, being from Florida and eating a lot of seafood and a lot of fish and things like that, I know that if I have a nice piece of grouper, I'm probably not going to want a big heavy cab to go along with that, right? I am going to have a nice light Sauvignon Blanc, particularly if it's a hot summertime and I'm having a piece of fish out by the pool. That's something to have. But at the same time, if I'm having a steak and I want a lighter Pinot Noir, I'm going to do that. Now here we are, all wine geeking out. Moving right along. This is called Get the Taste. If we look at our menu, and this is curried Atlantic scallops with a spicy melon mint salad and sweet potato cream. One scallop there, and just light and awesome. Scallops are a funny thing. You can sear them, but if you're not careful, they will get tough. And these were light and delicious and tender and just really good. My wife doesn't normally care for scallops, and I was expecting to, because I figured she might have a little bite and move on. But no, she ate it right up, loved it. So that's how I knew this was a really, really good one, because Leslie wasn't like, here, have mine. And there's another view of that, just a little bit closer. But look at the delicacy in the presentation. It's just, everything is just right. And he's working in that little small kitchen that I showed you, plating up probably 20 people, I would imagine. I think there were 4 tables there. There were 6 at our table. So I'm thinking at least 15, maybe 20 guests were there this night. And just doing a fantastic job. And presentation was amazing. You can see the chef is hard at work and concentrating, right? Look at that. A man who loves his work. You've got to,
impressive. Yeah.
Gotta love that, right?
Yep.
And there he is plating up the next course, which will be our soup. And this was called Tease the Senses. It's a white asparagus cream soup with a balsamic strawberry Comté cheese cookie. I'm guessing that's that thing right there. And I will tell you, even in France, I took my cookie, Jenny, and I dipped it in the soup. And
I would have to.
I
would have to. With that, yes, I would have to.
Yeah, this is amazing. I think of all the things in cooking that the French did give us, I think we owe them for sauces and soups, and for croissants, baking.
Definitely. Bread.
For sure. And there you go. There's a little bit more of that strawberry balsamic glazing on top. Look at that. It was so rich and so good. It's fantastic. Yeah, it was really, really good. All right. And here is Chef Sebastian getting ready to plate up our next thing. And this was from the Rivers, and it's grilled filet of sea bream. It had a saffron villa with oven baked tomato, eggplant salad, and chickpea lentil soup. Souk, I guess, S-O-U-K. If you guys know what
Hmm.
that is, S-O-U-K. It's a chickpea lentil. If you've ever had this, let me know. You can see here are two servers. They're amazed at what Chef Sebastian is putting out. And then, of course, there they are giving the head chef his dues as the man in charge, right? Look at that. And so there they are. You get a little bit better of a depth. So this is, again, sitting at our table, looking into the kitchen, right down that, you see that open door. That's
Yeah.
literally the hallway that goes past all the staterooms and then on to the rest of the ship. So that's kind of the layout. We're just in a little intimate room on the back of the ship, which made it so nice. Very good.
Beautiful.
There he is, plating up that fish that I was telling you about. And wait for it, because you're going to see it in a second. There we go, Jenny. Look at that.
That's it's
Now,
art. It's like
it is art.
on a.
All right. Well, here's kind of our palate cleanser, I guess, to break up between our courses. And we were kind of saying before, Jane, we weren't sure if this was a sherbet or a sorbet. They call it a sherbet. So whatever you call it, I just called it amazing and crisp and just wonderful on the palate. You know, it's an apple, ginger ale, and sparkling wine. And it did just that, you know, gave you just kind of woke your senses up, you know, your taste buds, and got you ready for the next course, which was just awesome. Look at that. Look at that. Now, this is called Country Spirit, Jenny. It's a French Barbary duck crepenetta with lavender, orange sauce, broccoli, and braise. Yeah, that thing with a Vichy
Sure.
carrot mash. Yeah. And you can see Sebastian is very pleased with his work and very happy. And this is, I think, what made this meal really kind of fun and everything is, you know, all between the courses, he's coming out, you know, telling us about what he made, asking us how we're liking it, watching how we're enjoying it. You know, sometimes it's not just saying, hey, chef, this is great. It's watching the expression on your face, you know, when you take that first bite of something, you know. They were very involved. The wait staff and Chef Sebastian were very involved, and it just made it a lot of fun. And there is a close-up of that duck crepenetta. There's another picture of Chef Sebastian's kitchen, and he's getting the cheese ready because, again,
Oh, of course.
the French begin and end everything, as it should be. And you can see he's plating up each table's cheese plate with great joy there, excitement even.
It's always exciting to be working with cheese in any way.
Right. And care, yeah. And then here was our final, and they titled this one From Heaven. It's pistachio tart. We're just going to go with that, with blueberry caviar and cappuccino ice cream. So the little tart there on the left, blueberry, you know, the topping
What's
over on the
blueberry
right.
caviar?
You've got me, Jenny, but boy, it was good. And the three things together, you know, you have those fresh berries, that tart, you know, it's like a little pie, and then that cappuccino ice cream there, just, you know, it just sealed everything up. It was so good. So good.
Perfect.
And here's that cheese plate. And there are the wines that we had.
Is all that wine included, or do you have to pay?
Well, this
extra?
was, yeah, that's a great question. I think this was probably the only cruise that we've taken that we didn't have some kind of a charge at the end for, you know, wine at dinner or a beverage somewhere, but all of our wine was included. This was labeled a wine cruise. We were in Bordeaux. There was a winery from California that was on the ship with us, and they did lots of presentations on wine during the day that were included. They did wine with dinner sometimes at night from their winery, but we also had wine with dinner every night from the ship. So whether it was the excursions during the day to the chateaus, the wines at happy hour before dinner, the wines with dinner, everything was included. And then, of course, the wines with the chef's table dinner included also. It was all included. It was a fine cruise, Jenny.
That's even better. See, once you get on and you're not thinking about that barbell racking up.
Yeah,
that can be scary at the end of I've had that happen.
We planned this cruise. Again, we went with our friends, two other couples that we called the band. I remember one of the last nights we had an overnight actually in Bordeaux, in the town of Bordeaux, France. And the captain, you can't do this with a big ship, but you can do it with a river cruise ship. He said, okay, tonight I'm going to give you a light cruise around the harbor of Bordeaux. And so they untied the ship and we went out for a little cruise around the harbor
A
of
pleasure
Bordeaux
cruise.
and got to see all the lights of Bordeaux. And I remember looking over at my
It's
friends,
beautiful.
Dan and Jimmy, and going, dude, we're in Bordeaux, France. It was just that perfect kind of night. It was really awesome.
Oh, I love that.
All right. Well, Jenny, that is a look at Chef's Table on the river cruise. We've got to have more talks about river cruises and
Yes.
more talks about Bordeaux for sure. We did lots more stuff I'd love to share with you guys for sure.
Yeah, river cruising is special, and we're actually seeing some of the river cruise lines with some domestic itineraries coming out in the next few years as well. So as the world kind of reopens, you're going to have opportunities to experience river cruising closer to home, and then maybe work your way up to anywhere you want to go.
For sure. And so if you guys now, things are starting to open up where you're at and you're ready to get out and do some traveling, just want to talk about get out and do some traveling, we're here for you at Must Love Travel. Make sure you give us a shout. And one of our travel advisors will definitely be ready to help you plan wherever you're dreaming of going, right, Jenny? We can help you with anything right now.
Absolutely.
Just let you know what is open and what the possibilities are, and then we can talk on further into the future as more and more stuff opens up, whatever you want to do. So I'll leave you with one final picture. Here I am with our chef Sebastian. This is what I loved about this whole experience, that the kitchen wasn't off limits. Sebastian, can I come into your kitchen? Of course, come on in. Let's get a photo. It was just that kind of night. It wasn't the standoffish chef preparing for his guests. It was really an interactive, wonderful dinner. It was just a great time.
Well, you look happier than ever.
Well, last night of a 2-week trip to France and a couple of glasses of wine with dinner, I think will do that to a fellow, Jenny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing, helping me share this with our folks on Travel with Rick. I really appreciate you being here.
Pleasure, always.
Be well, travel safe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again on Travel with Rick. So long.
Bye-bye.